Hi guys. Hi. I was kind of nervous to film this video just cause there's like a lot of stuff that's been going on in my life at the moment. My mum kind of fell on a night out, injured herself, like she fractured her jaw, and she's kind of been off for a long time, not well. So I haven't really had time alone recently to film a video. I can't really film them when my mum's in because she just kind of comes into the room and starts talking, and well, she doesn't really know that I do this. Like, she doesn't really approve of like the whole YouTuber thing. So like, it's kind of something that I keep to myself that my family doesn't really know about. Also, like, my granddad as well, he got very ill. He had to go to the hospital. He was in the hospital for months. He had to get put on oxygen from like April time right until September. He was in the hospital on oxygen, and then he got out and he was doing better, and well, we all thought he was doing great, but then he went downhill again. So the nurses have had to come in and put him on an oxygen tank permanently that like sits in his house, and he's on oxygen 15 hours a day. It's not so bad. I mean, he's got like 3 tags. He's got the main one that kind of sits in the house, then he's got one with a strap that he can like walk about with, and like one that kind of attaches to his kind of electric scooter thing. So they obviously think he's going to still be around for a while. Obviously they kind of wouldn't gone round to that effort, but his health kind of really declined after that, and he kind of wasn't sleeping, wasn't eating, wasn't moving around, and it was like we'll try to talk to him to get some sense into him, to get him to like move or just eat or do something, and then well, luckily my mum managed to talk some sense into him, and he's actually like moving about now, like at least. But it's a shame, he was terrified to even go to the toilet, and because he would have had to take the oxygen off. But they were like, but the nurses were like, oh, it's not, you don't need to have the oxygen on like all the time, like it's just for 15 hours a day, so you can have it in at night and when you're sleeping, and maybe just hours through the day when you're not like doing stuff. But then he's got one for like his scooter and stuff as well, so it's not as if he like can't leave the house. So I think now that he knows that, he's feeling better and he's moving about and stuff, so that's good. Also, at college there was like a lot of drama as well. Like, I made 2 friends at college. One was a girl about my age, and one was like an older man that she was hanging about with. And at first I didn't really think anything of it. Like, I just thought they were like mates, and it really didn't like occur to me like the situation they were in. but this whole kind of story's kind of fucked. So basically, if like yous are kind of sensitive to like certain issues, like I know, like I'm aware of like all the current like YouTube drama with like Chris Hansen and Onion Boy and stuff. Like I am aware of that, and yeah, it's like it's kind of similar story to that. So if you're kind of like sensitive, if you don't kind of like topics like this, then I kind of skip past this part of the video, click off the video, go and watch something, like watch some nice cat videos or kitten videos or something like that, if you don't like to watch stuff like this. But basically I was kind of just in my class doing work, and the girl that he's normally friends with, she was away on holiday for the week, and I was just kind of sitting myself, kind of doing the work, and then he approached me and just kind of started talking to me and being really nice and being really friendly, and was like just kind of, it was just kind of nice and friendly at first, and then we just kind of started talking, and then I didn't, well, because I'm quite, well, I'm just, well, I guess this is kind of naive of me, I'm naturally just kind of talk to anyone and kind of socialise with anyone. It doesn't really bother me, so I just thought, oh, this is just someone that's want to talk. Like, I didn't really think anything of it at the time. Oh, this is just some person that wants to talk and hang out and stuff like that. I don't really mind talking to him during classes and at lunch and stuff. Like, it didn't really like bother me that much. And he was asking to come to lunch and stuff and like hang out at lunch. So then we started like talking at college and just going to lunch and hanging out at lunch. And then this other girl comes back from her holiday, and then the three of us are just kind of hanging out and stuff like that. But then he told me that he had a bunch of friends that he used to hang about with at college and go to lunch with. But then I don't know who these people were, because I never really met these people. I don't know if they were like imaginary, or they just weren't at the college anymore, or they were like friends that he maybe had outside of college. But then he told me that he was going, that they all used to kind of hang out together at lunch and stuff. So I thought that was kind of weird, like as time went on, because I started to notice it was just us three and none of these people that he was like mentioning like before. So yeah, that was kind of weird. Also, as time went on, I did kind of notice like kind of sociopathic tendencies. Like, I'm not claiming to be an expert on stuff like that. I only know kind of stuff that I've seen from like the Shane Dawson Jake Paul video, that kind of Shane Dawson kind of went on about like sociopaths and that. That's kind of all I really know is stuff mentioned in the video. But he kind of was, as I was getting to know him, he was talking about things that was kind of awkward or made me feel like uncomfortable. Like, he started going on about like how he struggles with emotions and doesn't feel emotions very well and struggles to communicate with people and that. And I just thought that's kind of, I don't know the word to use, maybe, I don't want to say weird or strange or like not normal, but it was like peculiar. Oh, I don't know. So that happened, and then he started making comments about my appearance, comments about the way I dress, comments about my hair, just all these uncomfortable comments, saying that I was pretty, saying that I was gorgeous, saying I was beautiful. And then he started making comments about my body, like inappropriate comments, and he started making comments about the way I dress. Like, he didn't approve of the way I dress, because I, like, it was going on about how I wear, like, black and white and grey and stuff like that, and basically said that he hated people wearing, like, dark, depressing colours like that. Made me look like an emo and a goth, and it just didn't like it. And I thought to myself, he's got a cheek to go on about the way I dress, because, mate, he was cutting about with a fucking bright red jumper, like Rudolph the bloody red-nosed reindeer. Honestly, he looks like a big round tomato in this big red jumper. And if it wasn't the red jumper, it was this red Hawaiian shirt thing that just, and I just looked at this shirt, and it's like, it's the kind of Hawaiian shirt that you wear when you're on your holidays, and I'm just like, what are you wearing, mate? I'm like, that is the kind of shirt that you would wear if you were, like, abroad on holiday. I was like, mate, this is Scotland, we've not got the weather to cut about in, like, tropical Hawaiian shirts. I mean, fair enough if it's in the summer and it's a roasting hot day, or if you're on your holidays or something, but, like, no like a, in the Scotland in the middle of, like, October with the climate that we've got. And if it wasn't, like, the shirt, it was the red jumper or the green jumper that looked exactly the same as the red jumper, or it was this weird, like, nude woolen jumper that was, like, 2 sizes too small for them and made them look humongous, and made them look old. And I was kind of noticing as time went on that the way he started to look and present himself got more and more unappealing, let's just say that. Like, he used to wear, like, hats and stuff like that, but at least they were, like, trendy kind of hats. But then I noticed the reason why he wore hats is because he didn't have a lot of hair. And he kind of stopped wearing the hats and then started to grow, like, a beard, but it wasn't, like, in kind of, like, trendy kind of hipster beard that you see, like, all these kind of young people, like, wear. It was, like, a proper, like, Santa beard, like, like, that's not good. But yeah, that kind of happened, and then I was just kind of trying to flush this, like, out of my mind, like, all this stuff that isn't, like, you know, bit on the odd side. Then I'm just kind of biting my nails and picking at my skin because I'm, like, so nervous. Like, I really didn't want to put out this video. I was really nervous, and all this stuff that's going on, it's just, I found it, like, really difficult to post, and I was really nervous to get back online again. But hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be able to post more frequently. I've also been, like, really busy with college work as well. Like, I've been, like, bombarded with assessments, like, in between all of this stuff as well, so I'm lucky if I find the start of time to post videos, like, ever again. So anyway, sorry, I'm kind of going off topic. We're going on about this man again. So basically, that happened, and then what I didn't know is that they all knew something. Everyone in the class knew something about this man, and they didn't tell me till later on. And they were all like discussing it, like, oh my god, like, we need to get Millie away from this man. He's a dangerous person. How are we going to tell her what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And it was one of my, a lassie that I know in the class, like, approached me and she offered to give me a lift home, and I didn't think much of it at the time. I was just like, yeah, sure, fine, yeah, that's nice of you, yeah. So then we were in her car and she told me what happened. She showed me this article from the Scottish Sun about him from like 2016. So really this, like, late 2016, so really maybe about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, probably, well, depending on when I posted the video, 4 years ago, at this rate, the way that my videos are going. And when I seen the article, I was actually shocked. So she asked me what I knew about this man's past, and to be honest, I didn't really, when I think about it, I didn't know very much about him. Like, I know that he has a family and a wife, and I know that he has kids, and that he used to work in the women's prison in Scotland. There's only one women's prison in Scotland. And I know that he used to be a psychiatric nurse or whatever. And then she showed me the article and I could not believe it. So basically this article read that he had raped 3 women in his like previous job. So like 3 prison inmates, he like raped them, and it wasn't just like 3 in the one occasion, it was like 3 like separate women on like separate occasions. And the only reason that he's still walking about is that he got found not guilty. And I don't understand how someone who is been like, has had like 3 different women within like 3 different occasions testify against him be found not guilty. It was like, one woman 1 year claimed it, and then the next year another woman claimed it, and then the next year another woman claimed it. Like, how the fuck do you get found not guilty when 3 different women from 3 different like times in the past like testify against you? I honestly don't know how you would have got away with that. Like, I honestly don't. It like berserks me. But then he's a sociopath. He's a manipulator. Like, they're good at that. They're good at like manipulating people, aren't they? The lassie that, also the girl that, she's older than me, she's like in her 50s, told me that she was married to a sociopath as well, and she's kind of long divorced him now, but she told me that he's definitely a sociopath because she was married to a sociopath for a good 20 plus years, and she says that she noticed the exact same traits in her ex that she noticed in him, and to be honest, I kind of noticed some sociopathic tendencies in him as well. So I think I'm not saying for definite, but I think he is one, and the fact that he got away with doing that to the three women, it's just makes me think even more. And it's just disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting that he was able to get away with that. And it's disgusting that someone would even think about doing that in the first place. Like, it's like these three women were obviously, I know they were in prison and their backgrounds were like questionable. Some people would probably say that, but like these women were seeing a psychiatric person because they've probably got mental health issues, or they've probably had something terrible happen in their past that they need therapy for, and he's totally took advantage of these three women, and just, it's totally disgusting. Totally and utterly disgusting. And when I read that article, I was actually terrified for myself and this other girl that he was hanging around with. So then I was like explaining to her, like, do you think she knows this? Who else knows this? What's going on? What is the college doing about this? Does the college know about this? And then she was like to me, well, everyone in the class knows. She was like, we were all talking about it and we weren't sure how to tell you, because obviously you were hanging about with him. And obviously, because you were hanging about with him, that put you in a vulnerable position. And she was like, and we were trying to figure it out, how to explain it to you. Everyone was really worried about you, the whole class. And then she was like, I decided that I'd talk to you and that I'd explain it to you. So then I was like, well, thank you for telling me and thank you for letting me know. Otherwise, I would have probably just kept like hanging about with him, and then for I would have known, I would have been his next victim, or that girl that he could have been hanging about with also could have been his next victim. But I was able, and we were trying, and then I was like to her, we need to get her away from him. And she was like, I know, but it's easier said than done. Like, we need to kind of figure out a plan to get her away from him. And she's like, and it's not just going to work overnight, it's going to take time for her to build up the confidence to get away from him and to mix with someone else. Because this girl, she was very shy, very quiet, very kind of, I don't know how to describe it, she was just very quiet, very shy, didn't speak a lot. Very anxious young lassie, just not a lot of confidence. So I was kind of like, oh, what do we do? And also, she didn't really mix with most of the class. The class, well, mind you, no one in the class really made the effort for her, but she doesn't really mix with people very much. So, and I think, well, I later found out that was because of the mental health issues and insecurities that she developed from stuff that he had done to her, which I will get into later. So that happened, and then I went home that night, and then he started sending me messages on Facebook, like constantly spamming me with messages on Facebook. Like, my phone was pinging like mad, going ping, 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 all night long. I actually thought my phone was going to explode with the amount of messages I was getting from this man. I was like, Jesus Christ, I had to actually switch my phone off because it was that bad. And he actually phoned me at like 11 o'clock at night. I was actually in my bed asleep when he phoned me. And then I didn't pick up the phone because I was just like, no way am I picking up that phone. Then he sent me a message trying to say that the reason he phoned me, it was an accident. Apparently he sat on his phone and that's why it was ringing. And I was just like that, yeah right mate, I don't believe that for a minute. I just didn't reply. I didn't reply to his phone calls, didn't reply to any of his messages, nothing, just completely ignored them. And then the people were saying to me, oh, you need to reply to what he's saying, he'll get suspicious. And I was like, I don't want to reply to his messages, I don't want to speak to him. Like, I just found out that the guy is like, I don't want to talk to a man that's done that to 3 different women, and then he targeted me and someone else, and God knows who else he's going to target in the future. I don't want to talk to a man like that. No, fuck off. And then so I continued to ignore him after that, and then the next day some of us had to come in to finish work. Some people had already done. I hadn't completed the work yet, so I had to come in and finish it. And he knew that I had to come in to do the work. He had the day off, and the next day when I was sitting in calls doing the work, ping, 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 still keep going. From the whole of yesterday afternoon, the whole of that day, my phone was still going mental with all the messages. Then, that night, phone was still kept going that night, and it wasn't until about the 3rd morning that it actually stopped. It was like obsessive compulsive behaviour. It's like he just couldn't or wouldn't stop. And it was actually getting, by the 3rd day, I was actually getting really scared. And people were saying to me, like, don't be fear him, don't let him see your fear. She's like, you need to confront him about this, and you need to say to him, I do not like you sending me these messages, I do not like you phoning me, I do not like you messaging me at that time of night, stop it. So I did. I confronted him and I said to him, look, you were sending me messages constantly for the past 2.5 days or 3 days or whatever, it was just constant. I did not like that. I said to him, then you then phoned me, I do not like you phoning me, and then you were messaging me and phoning at me at 11 o'clock at night. I was actually lying in my bed sleeping. He was like that, oh, but it said you were online. I was like, it doesn't matter. You don't phone someone at 11 o'clock at night. It's like common courtesy. Unless you're like talking to them and you're messaging them and you know that you're definitely awake. Like if I was talking to someone like on Facebook and we were talking at 11 o'clock at night and they were replying to me, then maybe I'd phone them, right? Or if it was an emergency, I'd phone them. But I wouldn't just randomly phone someone at 11 o'clock at night just for like phoning or whatever, unless it was an emergency. Like it's just common courtesy, man. And then he just deflected the subject and started going on about one of his daughters. And I was kind of looking at, like, my mate, and then she was looking at me, and I just kind of looked at her as if to say what the fuck, and then she looked at me, and then I mouthed the word to her, asshole, like to her, and then she just kind of nodded like that, and I was like, what a dick, what an actual dick. And then so that happened, and then he started to avoid me, sit away from me, stop speaking to me, and then the girl that I was friends with, he tried to totally separate us. He totally like isolated her in a corner so that I couldn't speak to her, I couldn't communicate with her. If I was wanting to speak to her, it would need to be through him. And I thought to myself, no way. And I was trying to think of strategies to do this, and it wasn't until 2 weeks later that he left the classroom for some reason, and he was gone for a good 15 minutes, and it wasn't until then that I was able to get the opportunity to speak to her, and I didn't want to kind of overload her with like the whole like situation, so I just kind of went up to her and I was like to her, and I was kind of nervous at first, and I don't know why I was nervous, because she's not a scary person, she's not a nasty person, she's a really nice she's a really nice, lovely person, so I don't know why I was nervous. I think it was just the whole situation just kind of had me on edge. So then I went up to her, and then I was just kind of standing there, like in front of her, like scared, like not even knowing what to do. And it took me like a couple of minutes to build up the confidence to actually speak to her and be like, hi, I know we haven't been talking for the last 2 weeks, just to let you know, me and you are fine. I don't know what his problem is, but me and him aren't really talking anymore. I was like, I've got you on Facebook. Will you add me on Facebook? And she's like, yeah, well. And I was like, well, maybe we can talk, and we can meet up for lunch sometime. And she was like, yeah, I'd really like that, yeah. So then I messaged her asking if she wanted to come to lunch with me one day, and she said she'd like that. And then I went to lunch and agreed to meet her somewhere, and she never turned up. And I just thought, oh no, he's like got to her. So then the next day I tried again, and I was waiting for her, and I thought to myself, should maybe with him. So they have like a kind of hangout bit where they go to, it's like in the library or something, because he liked going there. She used to try and go like to this room bit to get away from him, and then he'd like follow her places, so it was like she could never get away from him. So anyway, I goes to this route bit, and she's sitting there with him, and then all of a sudden, like, I just feel the kind of nerves like build up inside me, and I'm just like, oh god, what do I do? And it was kind of like a water fountain in there. So I went to the water fountain, got a cup of water, drank it, and then just kind of stood there for a little bit, took some deep breaths, tried to build up the confidence, and then I walked up to her and I was like to her, oh hi, we're going to meet up for lunch. And then she was like, oh yeah, just give me a few minutes. And then she kind of started like packing all her stuff and that, and he was just kind of like talking casual at first, and then I just kind of was standing there, and then he kind of briefly spoke to me, and then I was just kind of like, yeah, sure, yeah, whatever, not really like want to talk to him. And I was kind of getting nervous again, and I don't know if he could see that, but I just really wanted her to get away from him. And then he was like asking her where she was going and that, and she was like, oh, I'm going for lunch. And apparently she had this work to do that was like important. And I was like, well, it's only 12 o'clock, the work isn't due until 3. We'll only be going away from an hour, so she'll still have an hour to do the work. And then he kind of changed, and he was like, oh, you'll never get that work done in an hour. Sandra being the lecturer that the work was due for, will not be happy. The lecturer will not be happy. You'll get in trouble for not submitting your work on time. And I thought to myself, that doesn't sound like our lecturer at all. Our lecturer's really friendly, and she's really laid back, and she's really kind and hearted and soft-spoken, really understanding. She's not the kind of woman that would like crack up and snap and get really angry over something. Like, I'm sure if she was like explained to the lecturer like what was going on, that she'd understand. Like, she's a really nice, understanding person. So I don't understand why he was getting at that. I think he was just getting like that because he didn't want me to go to lunch with her. And I think he was just trying to manipulate her into staying. And I was like to him, leave her alone. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, a switch in me just flicked. And I was like to him, leave her alone. Like, fuck's sake, man. She's got plenty of time to do work. She's allowed a lunch break. She's allowed something to eat. And then he was not happy when I said that. He cracked. He started shouting in the middle of the library at me. Like, proper roaring and shouting. He got proper angry at me. And by this point, I don't even know what happened. I wasn't even like nervous anymore. I just kind of rolled. I don't know what came over me, honestly. I just kind of rolled my eyes at him and went, whatever, mate. And he's seen that, and he was not happy that he didn't get the reaction that he wanted of me. And then he threatened to report me and a couple of other people in my class for bullying him. And I was like, mate, you're a 40-year-old, you're a man in your 40s, or you're a man in your 40s, I don't know how old he was exactly, and you're going to report I was 20 at the time, a 20-year-old lassie for bullying you, a lassie half your age. Really? I was bullying you? Really? Was it not like the other way about in that situation? Honestly. So then we left for lunch. I think after she seen him act like that, she was like, oh God, I'm out of here. So then we left, we had lunch, and when we were at lunch, it was when she kind of started, we kind of talked about like stuff, and then she started to kind of open up about like what he done to her. And it turns out everyone in the class thought she already knew, but it turns out she only knew when I told her what happened. So she had been hanging about with that guy for a year, and over a year, and didn't know that he had done that. And when I told her, she went into a state of absolute shock. Like, she was shocked. And she told me, like, on a few days later that she was having nightmares and everything, and she was petrified in case, like, she like, ran into him and what he'd do and all that. And it was really scary. It was a really scary situation. Like, she told me that she was seeing a therapist because of everything that he'd done to her. Like, it was kind of similar to what he'd done to me. Like, he had basically isolated her from everyone and stopped her from being, like, with her friends. Like, she'd want to hang about with, like, her friends at lunch, and then he'd, like, manipulate her into not going, or he'd ask to go and she'd not want him to go, so then she'd have to cancel on her friends. She then kind of had to stop dressing a certain way because he'd always make comments about her body. He'd always make comments about how her looks, how she dressed, like, inappropriate comments. He would also message her stuff on Facebook asking for her to send nudes and then asking to touch her bottom. And he said to her once that if they weren't friends that he'd want to get into bed with her. And I just thought that was totally inappropriate, especially for a man in his 40s who has like a wife and kids and is like trying to jump into bed with two girls in their 20s. Like, well, I'm 20, she's 21, so yeah, I was 20 at the time, she was 21, so yeah, that's just not right. And then she told me that all this stuff, and I was shocked. I was actually shocked. And then she told me more stuff that was even creepier. Apparently, on like the first day of the course, I came into college and I was taught, and we had to do like an icebreaker challenge where we were like mixing with other people and like interacting with other people. And I was having conversations, like getting to know you conversations with other people. And one of them I had to do with him, and one of them I had to do with her, and this one other guy in my course. And she messaged him on Facebook saying, "Oh, I quite like Millie. She's really nice. She's really lovely. She's really bubbly. She's really friendly. I'd quite like to be her friend." And he's like, "Yeah, she's a nice person, isn't she?" And then after that, she went on holiday, then came back, and then he was talking to me, which is just kind of like creepy, like seriously creepy. He's the only reason he befriended me in the first place was because she wanted to be friends with me, and it was just like, he done that because she said she wanted to be friends with me, and to keep her from wandering off, he's befriended me so that she's still with him, but she gets to hang around with me. And I thought to myself, oh my god, that is so creepy and so scary at like the same time. Like, this is not my kind of spooky scary, guys. This is not my kind of scary. My kind of scary is like Halloween makeup and ghosts and witchcraft and stuff like that. This is not the kind of spooky, scary stuff that I'm into. This is like a whole different craziness, like, altogether. So, and when she told me that, I was very shocked, to say the least. So then, I So then I took her back to college, and we were done from having lunch, and I had a class she that she didn't need to go to because she'd finished the work for her. So I had to go to do the work. She was away doing work for another class that we had in the afternoon. And by this point, everyone in the class was like kind of talking about him. It was kind of like a subject that we were regularly talking about, and we talk about like experiences, like what he'd done to other people in the class and what he'd done to me and other people in the past and stuff like that. And a couple of other people have told me stories about him as well. Like, there's another girl in the class that he was messaging, like, inappropriate messages, asking her to do, like, inappropriate stuff with him. And then there's another girl that was in their class last year. She was, like, a kind of Instagram model. He's always, like, liking her posts and putting inappropriate comments in the post. There's another girl who he's always like liking all her stuff, like on Facebook and that. And these girls, they're like all between the ages of like 21 and like 16, just to like let you know. There's like no one like over the age of that. These are all like young, like teenagers and like young kind of adults, like in their like early 20s to like late teens. Like these are not like women like in their 30s or whatever. These are like kids. So yeah, the girl that he was messaging inappropriate text messages, she was 17 at the time. So was the other girl that he was liking all the photos. The Instagram model, I think she's 21. But also, like, there's another girl in my class that he was making comments about. She's like 18 now. He was making comments about the way she dresses and saying, oh, she likes to show a lot of skin, all the stuff I do to her, like if I could get my way with her and all that. I was like thinking to myself, oh my god, what an actual creep. And then there was a boy in my class that he followed, like on his way home at the end of the start of the year. He like followed him, like he started following him home. So he went into McDonald's and tried to hide from him in the McDonald's, and the guy actually followed the boy into McDonald's and actually sat next to him in McDonald's and started yapping at him for a good 30 minutes before he'd leave him alone. And I thought to myself, that's really like creepy. Like, that is just not normal behaviour, like, at all. Like, I mean, doing it to us is creepy enough, but then doing it to that kid as well. I mean, the boy was only like 16 at the time, and he's like following him into like a McDonald's and that. Like, that's not right. And then, so that happened. Like, there's like different people that he's like done stuff to and that. And so then I told everyone in the class that he threatened me, because he did threaten me, and then he threatened like a bunch of other people in the class that are under the age of 18. And he got reported for that, and I decided to report him as well. Had to actually see a therapist because of this, and I had to see kind of the support worker at the college, and had to inform everyone, like the support worker, like what he'd done and all that. So then the next day, I asked the girl if she wanted to sit next to me on Wednesday. And she said, yes, she would. And she went and messaged him to ask if she could sit next to me. And I thought to myself, that's weird, why do you need to ask him? But then she told me that he's put her in a position where she feels like she needs to ask him just to sit next to people. And then she told me on, like, that day that he was actually trying to get her to spy on me and spy on everything that was going on. And he was like to her, oh, if Millie talks about me at lunch or anytime, you need to tell me what she says. You need to tell me everything that's going on. And I'm just like, oh my god, that behaviour's not right. And then he said to me, oh no, he tried to get me to spy on people as well. Like, in the college, we've got a kind of group chat which we kind of just use to communicate to each other and like talk about work and stuff like that and help each other. And he was wanting me to spy on the group chat when like we were still talking. And I said to him no, that I wouldn't do it. And he wasn't very happy about that either. Where are we? Yeah, so when I and this other girl in my class was talking to one of the lecturers about him, apparently the college already knew about his past, but because he wasn't convicted, he didn't need to declare it. And I'm like, what a load of bullshit, honestly. And she was obviously going to a therapist about it, and they were aware of that. And now that he was starting to behave that way with me, and now that they know that it was like other people in the class, they like thought it had stopped. But then when I told them about everything else that had happened and what was currently going on at the time, they were like, oh my god, it's still going on. So then there was like stuff going on like behind the scenes, but like he just didn't know it. And after she sat next to me that day, when we were back at college after the weekend, she told me that he had like fallen out with her, that he had blocked her on all social media, blocked her number, blocked her on everything. I was like to her, after everything that he's done to you, you should be glad he's finally freed you. And she was like, I know, I'm happy, I'm free. She was actually celebrating, but she was scared in case he came back to college. Like, what if he comes back? And I was like to her, well, if he comes back, we're going to need to deal with it. And then the next day we went into college, and then we got an announcement from the class rep that he had quit the course. And oh, what a relief it was when we found out that he had quit the course. She was so happy. She was she was dancing on the tables and everything. She was like shouting, I'm free, he's left me, I'm free. And oh, that was such a happy moment. We were finally freed of him, and hopefully we'll never see him ever again. I was so relieved. And then after that, when it was finally over, I think that's everything that's kind of filled you in on. I know there's kind of a lot of YouTube drama relating to this kind of subject at the moment, but I just felt like that I needed to get this video out, otherwise it probably would have. I feel a lot better now that I've done this. Like, I feel like this has been like some sort of weird therapy for me. I'm kind of glad I've done it now. I was like really nervous at the start of this, like what to post and like what to say on this. But now that I've done it, I feel so much better. It's like a weight has been lifted. I'm hoping to post more regularly. I don't really know what the script is with that. But yeah, guys, I think that's the end of the video. And I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.